Aveline, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building a family home. It's on a 30 by 20. I saw that, oh, it's built in Willow Creek, by the way, but I saw that you loved the retro home I did was it last week? I can't remember. But anyway, so I have more of these houses saved on my Pinterest now because obviously this isn't actually retro, but it was, the picture was kind of like the retro picture that I found. I'm just gonna call it the retro picture. It was like a retro floor plan thing, whatever. That's the one that I based the retro home off. But it looked kind of like it, but not as old, I would say. Like the picture itself didn't look as old, or the floor plan didn't look as old. I don't know how to explain that. I think it's kind of supposed to be from the same era, so like the 50s, 60s. But I'm doing a bit of an updated version today because I didn't want to do another retro house so close to it. But it seemed that you guys really liked the other one, so we're doing something like it today. It's still a one-story house. It has a mid-century modern feel to it, but it has a bit of an updated interior and also backyard. So yeah, but I figured that it would also kind of make sense to do another one so that you could place two houses next to each other so they kind of fit together, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what my thinking, like my thread of thoughts was. You get what I mean, yes. I like when my neighborhoods are cohesive, when the houses look like they actually should be next to each other, so it doesn't end up looking like an architecture or an architect's nightmare, or actually maybe it might be an architect's dream. Just go crazy with it, you know? But I don't like that, so I like there to be like a system to it. I like the houses just kind of match, but without looking the same, if you get what I mean. So yeah, here's another one-story house for you that has this sort of vibe, but a little bit updated. I actually have another one that is next to this one that is already up on the channel, but it's another one-story house. So if you're looking for a 40 by 30 as well, there is one up on the channel. I forgot. I think it's just called One-Story Family House or One-Story Family Home. Just like I'm probably titling this video, because I am very uncreative when it comes to my video names, but it describes the house perfectly. It's like, why change it? But yeah, I think that should be up on the channel as well. It has been for a while. So if you're missing a 40 by 30 and you like when your neighborhoods look a little bit cohesive, just like I do, I prefer when they look cohesive. Yeah, there's another house up that you can also have a look at. But this one is, like I said, on a 30 by 20. It's a fairly small home, but it has room for two parents and then also a teen. I ended up putting the teen's bedroom in the garage just because I felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was a cool idea. And that also meant the teen had their own space. There's quite a lot of space in there as well. So I could just have a lot of fun with their interior, actually, which I definitely did. They went completely in on their own vibe for that bedroom. So it's like, it doesn't match to the rest of the house. It's very much its own thing, but I feel like it's just fully personalized for the teen. And I feel like it just works. It works when it's in the garage, so it's not mixed up with the rest of the interior. I don't know why, but whenever I start, or not whenever, but a lot of the time when I start doing voiceovers, my computer starts to make the weirdest noises. I am not sure why that is, but you can probably hear it in the background. I'm gonna speak over it so that you're probably gonna be a little bit less bothered by it, but it's so confusing why it does that whenever I start doing voiceovers. It makes this like very mechanical sound. I don't know what that's about. It's super annoying. It bothers me. I probably should not have mentioned it. Maybe you wouldn't be looking for it or like searching for it in the voiceover in the audio track. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I don't know what that's about, but it does happen sometimes. It's frustrating to me, but especially because the case that I got for the computer is one of those silent ones, because my older computer used to do a lot of like fan noises when I was recording voiceovers. So like it would sound like I had a fan in the background, like, air noises. The new one just does these kind of weird mechanical sounds. It doesn't do the fan thing because it's a silent case, but it does the mechanical sounds. You really can't win, can you? So that's the thing. We're gonna ignore it, but it's a little bit weird. Just ignore it in the background. Anyway, so this house, yes, you do walk into the kitchen. I did slightly close it off though, so you don't walk like straight into the kitchen. I know that some people don't like that. I personally do not care. I don't mind. So it's not like, I think the original house actually here, you would walk straight into the living room, which is common in some places in the US. You don't do that here in Scandinavia, so that's probably one of the reasons I'm like, I don't really mind that you walk into the kitchen. There is a very small hallway space. I did do it, so like there is a small hallway space, but it's always been weird to me that you'd walk into the living room. Like that just sounds cold, so I'm not gonna do that. Or sometimes I do actually, but I prefer when there's a hallway space, most definitely. I just, the floor plan is actually fine. I don't have an issue with this floor plan. But right now, as I'm like putting down everything right now in the video, I hadn't fully decided on placing the teen's bedroom in the garage yet, so I was kind of like struggling to figure out, or maybe at this point I did, but before I put down the kitchen counters, I hadn't decided on doing it like that then. So I was kind of struggling with figuring out where I wanted everything to be because it dawned on me that I did not have a lot of space, that I didn't want this house to be for only 2 Sims. I didn't want it to be for just a couple. So that was costing me some issues, but I figured it out. We got a good solution with the garage space being utilized for something other than just treadmills or whatever I usually put out there, like laundry machines or something. But the rest of the rooms also have, I wouldn't say they're necessarily super spacious, except from maybe the living room, but I don't know, they have what they need here. It's not a super big house, and I wish, or not I wish, I don't have any wishes. I don't know why I said I wish. But I suppose if there was a second floor, we could definitely have made this for like a bigger family actually, because we are covering the basics with the ground floor. Obviously we only have one floor to deal with today, so kind of had to fit it in there, but we're dealing with a 1-story house, so not a lot of bedrooms. But I also know that you guys actually prefer, at least as far as I've gathered, a lot of you actually prefer when playing in 1-story houses over 2 stories because it's easier to keep track of the family members or just the Sims or the household members, whatever they are, right? So, and that makes sense because like you can see them all just laid out or walking around on this 1-story plan. But I have a big love for 2-story houses, so I always struggle a little bit with starting 1-story houses. But I actually like how this one turned out. I think I was just in the mood for it after doing the retro home as well, because that one was a 1-story house as well. But it's definitely difficult to fit in more than just a couple of family members in them. Or like today, we are fitting in 3, you know. It's definitely difficult to fit in more than, especially on a 30 by 20, but I suppose we also need 1-story houses in different sizes. It's just that it's a very small household. I don't know, I like big households, except for tiny houses. Actually, sometimes I like to make tiny houses for a lot of people, a lot of Sims, because the thought of being able to put in as many Sims into one tiny house as possible is a lot of fun to me. I don't know why, but so that does happen sometimes, but usually my tiny houses would be for 1 or 2 Sims, so yeah. But when I build something that's not tiny houses, I like to make it for a lot of Sims. I don't really know why. I think it has to do with the fact that when I used to play, so because I focus on building these days, I don't really do a lot of gameplay, but before I started making videos, before I started building, before I started dedicating all my time to building, I did play a little bit now and then, and I would always make sure that I had bigger houses on every lot so that I could fit in as many Sims as possible, so that there'd be as many Sims as possible in my Sims world, because that meant the Sims that I was playing with, would have, you know, the options to get or the opportunities to get more friends and, you know, so on and so on. Like there'd just be a lot. There'd be a lot going on in the background too, you know. So I think maybe that's why I kind of carried that with me throughout the years. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure that some of you guys are like that too. Like you like when there's a lot of Sims walking around in your world, so you want the houses that you have to be able to house as many Sims as possible. I don't know. Let me know if that's also a thing with you, because I'd love to know, or I'd love to know that I'm not on my own. So, as for what I'll be doing right now, I actually don't really know how to describe the interior style that we're going for, other than I just wanted to make it cozy and homey and not necessarily like any specific style, but just cozy and homey. Like it just has a vibe, you know? We're building according to a vibe today, not necessarily a style, but a vibe. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything used in this house, a little bit from different styles, and it's a bit, might clash here and there, but I personally don't mind. I think in most homes, when people don't necessarily have a lot of money, they or like furnish their houses, I suppose, they wouldn't necessarily go with like they'd have like secondhand furniture, for example, or they're just going with whatever they can afford in the moment. They collect furniture over the years as well, because who really has money to furnish their entire house all at once in the same style, you know? So their taste might change throughout the years. Maybe they have not necessarily purchased secondhand furniture, but like inherited some from family members that they don't need anymore because they've upgraded to another couch. So it doesn't necessarily all have to match when you make family homes. Am I making sense right now? That's at least how it was in my family home, or in my childhood home. Nothing really matched, but it was home, you know? So that's kind of the vibe that we're going for today. I wanted to have some fun with it. I wanted it to be cozy, and I wanted it to be fun and charming. I wanted it to be charming. So that's also why I chose the patterned chairs for the dining room, because I thought they were cute. I thought they were charming. In here, we're going for mainly a beige vibe, just to keep it like simple, but then I wanted to add some kind of vibe with the like some kind of feeling of something with the rug right here. So I was very indecisive when it came to the swatch. Don't remember, did I end up going with this one? Maybe I did, because it's a little bit on the warmer side. I was kind of drawn towards the green one, but it was too dark, so I ended up swapping it to that one, I think. And then again, some patterns in here, because patterns are charming, at least some patterns. The ones that we're going for today are definitely supposed to be. So this is the parents' bedroom. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot of furniture in here. I think we finish up or wrap up the parents' bedroom pretty quickly as well because of that. I just didn't want there to be a lot going on in here, to be honest. They have a lot in the rest of the house, so why would they put so much furniture in here, you know? So it's pretty simple. They have a couple of plants. There's the bed, of course, bedside table, and also a dresser. And I think that is about it, actually. A couple of pictures here and there as well. Was not really loving the wallpaper for the parents' bedroom, so I ended up swapping it with the parenthood one, the one with the wood paneling that comes in like different colors. Also, I already changed the floors. Yeah, I opened the game today, and because I had to finish it today, because I would normally not finish houses on the day that they go up on the channel. I don't like to do that. However, that's what we're doing today and also tomorrow, because yesterday I had to drive to Copenhagen and then drive home again. It was a whole thing, but it was a whole thing. It took like 4.5 hours to drive to Copenhagen. It should usually take like 3. So I sat in a car for a lot of hours yesterday. I'm a little bit tired today, but we're good. We're fine. So I just had to finish up this house today instead, but I don't normally like it. But because I opened it up today, I just sat and looked at the floor. I looked at the floors and I just didn't like, I don't know, the other color that I was using earlier, just, it was a little bit cold, maybe. I don't know what it was, but I didn't really love the color of it. So like the vibrancy or something. It didn't really, no, I didn't like it, so I swapped it with this one instead. Instead of going for beige for the bathroom is super small. It's the only one they have, and I'm actually impressed that I remembered to record it, because I've forgotten that quite a lot of times lately. I don't know why I keep doing that. But yeah, it's just, we're using some black furniture in there, or there's some black accents in the bathroom, basically, but it's a very simple bathroom. I don't really like to spend a lot of time on them, so they get the essentials, and then I move on to rooms that are a lot more fun, like this room, which is the teens room. So yes, they do have to, I think the teen kind of doesn't mind, to be honest. Like, if you had to exit the house to get to, maybe if like on a winter morning, it would kind of suck, but normally I don't think I would mind. Like, you could get up, put on your clothes, go out 2 steps across the outer hallway, or I don't know what's that pathway, whatever. You get to the kitchen, so like you can sit there and have breakfast with your family members or whatever. I would be okay with going, like, just having to walk 3 steps outside if I got my own big bedroom. Like, I feel like I would be okay with that. So they basically had the go to do everything they wanted with the space. So everything is basically just, there's a lot going on in here. I took my time decorating it. There's a lot of posters. There's a lot of clutter. It's very purple and teal and blue. I was kind of inspired by the bed swatch, actually. I really like it, although the orange I toned down a little bit, because I think the pillows on that bed are orange, right? I think they're orange, or like a very warm, deep yellow, at least. I think they're pretty much orange, and orange in this kind of color scheme stands out just a little bit. So toning that down a little bit, we're going for blue and pink, and mainly, well, blue, pink, purple, and maybe a little bit teal. So it's just, there's a lot going on in here, but color scheme wise, I would say everything kind of goes together. Like, we can make this messy, but if we stick to the color scheme, everything will go together anyway. So we can have a lot of fun with it, if you get what I mean. And I also kind of, again, inspired by the bed swatch. See, those pillows are or orange. They're definitely orange. But inspired by the bed swatch, I also got the idea that they would be a gamer. So they have their own gaming setup. No, they cannot sit on the bed and watch TV and play, but unfortunately that is not a thing. But the thought is cool that they could sit on the bed and like, or lie in bed, whatever, and play, even though the TV is pretty small, but they could still play on that. So they have their consoles over here as well. I think I also kind of thought they were a little bit artsy because of all those posters, so that's why I placed those pictures next to on the left side of the bookcase. I don't know, I had an idea that they would be a little bit artsy as well. Luckily, you can have multiple hobbies, so you can both be a gamer and be artsy. You don't have to be just one thing. So yeah, that's what that was about. But I definitely enjoyed decorating the teens room. Also play tested, so everything should be fine. There's nothing blocking the bed, but also just the room in general. It should be fine. I just wanted to make sure, because everything is kind of, like, there's a lot going on in there. The mirror and also the chair over in the corner could easily be blocking the way to the bed, but it was all good. So it is play tested, should work fine. Just remember to activate Move Objects On before you place down this house, but you should do that with basically everything you download off the gallery anyway. Just a good tip. So anyway, for the backyard, I kind of just got started, and then I didn't really know which direction to go in. So everything that we're doing for the backyard is unplanned. I just kind of went with it. I don't know. Just kind of started, and then I was like, well, this doesn't really fit here, so let's redo this. And I actually like the end result. Something that I always feel like I could easily struggle with is over tiling everything, like using way too much tile and then forgetting that maybe there should be some plants in the backyard as well. Which is ironic because I definitely overdo plants in front yards quite often, but for backyards, I feel like I could easily get lost in just using a lot of tile. So I made sure that, as you can see, there's a couple of areas framed up where you could plant some plants, essentially. Which, by the way, we're also using flowers today. And colored flowers, pink, because I wanted to tie them in with the flower boxes. So there's a little bit of pink here and there. It's not all white today, just to have some little bit of fun. I don't know, spice up the landscaping just a little bit. But then over here in the corner, I initially placed down some plant pots, moved them over to the other side of the backyard, and then I decided to make a lounge area over here instead. So it's a little bit like hidden away from the rest of the backyard, but I don't know, I thought it would be cool to have like a reading corner over here or something. Maybe they could sit over here with like some friends and have drinks in the evening or something. I don't know. I just felt like it would make sense to have it kind of closed off from the rest of the backyard for some reason. So that's what that is basically. Also pizza slice floater today instead of a one of the normal ones. I don't know, I thought it would fit with the house. And also, I'm desperately wanting pizza today. I'm not gonna order it, but I'm desperately wanting pizza today, so that might also have influenced my choice of item a little bit. So, but other than that, they have a grill, a couple of counters, there's some plants, and a dining table outside the lounge area, and that's pretty much it. But it's also a pretty small backyard. I decided to not utilize all the space that I had just because I don't feel like that's always necessary. So I actually end up doing that quite often instead of like making a fence around the whole lot, just going with whatever I feel I need essentially, or to add a little bit of shape to the backyard or something. I decide to create some corners and stuff, so yeah, today's no exception. But that is it for today, so I hope you guys like this house. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment, where you can also find a link to my booktube channel. So if you like to read, definitely check it out. But that's all I got for you guys today, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
I've been running around in circles for so long. I never really understood what I did wrong. Was trying hard to find a place where I belong. I lived an empty life, but had to carry on. I guess I really was giving up on love, and I tried to block those feelings off. What did I do? In the middle of then it all came back when I thought that everything was lost. On a cold November night, when I met my Mrs. Right, made my feelings come to life again. When I thought I didn't care, I just saw her standing near, made my feelings come to life again. Now I wake up every morning next to her. I gotta pinch myself to prove that she's my girl. And there's no place I'd rather be here in this world, cause I have no doubt, and I know she is the one. I guess I really was giving up on love, and I tried to block those feelings off. What did I do? In the middle of sex, then it all came back when I thought that everything was lost. On a cold November night,